Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dirt Road. That's Mike.
That's Rick.
It's our beautiful farm. It's good
Hidden.
today.
It's invisible.
The best farm in New York City, I'll tell you that. So Mike, since our last time we met, Ms. Harris picked herself a running mate. But I do want to say one thing. I know you're going to go on a rant, but I think Kamala Harris watches the Dirt Road. Because she took my advice. Remember in our video about J.D. Vance, and I said how I think the hell with this balancing the ticket stuff. She should go out and get somebody, a left winger, and double down and just
she went and got another
take
avowed
the chance.
communist just like her.
So both of them, Trump and Harris, both picked people that pretty much think exactly like they do and shoot this whole balancing the ticket nonsense, which I don't think matters at all.
I don't think so either.
And
I think
they're both doubling down.
That's true.
So thanks for watching, Kamala. We want all the subscribers we can get. I mean, I'm not voting for her, but she could certainly be on the Dirt Road.
She could watch if she wants to. Maybe she'll learn something about actual governance.
She could even come on.
She could actually learn something about real governance.
Visit our farm. So what do you think of Tim Walz?
I'm going to give you guys a rant warning right now, and there may be profanity in this. So actually, I'm not kidding. There's going to be profanity in this. I'll just put that out there right now. This guy is a complete and utter scumbag. Okay, he is the worst kind of person that you will ever fucking have the experience of meeting. I cannot stand people like this. So, when you're in the military, right, or in any real profession, you probably have those asshats that kiss ass and make their way to the top, right? The ones who do what they need to do and make their way to the top. And that's this guy, right? Only in military circles, you know, you're doing what you're doing in garrison, right? And we call guys like this a garrison hard ass, right? Because in garrison, when you're back on the base, you're not in a combat zone. You know, this guy's Johnny Hardcore, right? He's going to go out, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And he's very, authoritative and he's strong and he's look at his discipline and he's got his shit together and blah, 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 blah. And then the moment a shot's fired in anger, this guy's running as fast as he fucking can for the hills. Fuck you. You're a coward. You know, this guy does not deserve to be a governor, a dog catcher. He doesn't deserve to be in the damn human race. You know, this is the worst kind of asshole. You're a so-called leader, but you abandon your men right when they need you most. You know, a real leader takes his men to war, right? This is what you do in the military. We go to fucking war. That's what we do. We're not here to play nice with you. We're here to go to your country and stomp it back into the fucking Stone Age and make you act right. You know, because there's a reason we're going there. You know, there's a reason. We're not just going there to go there. We can exclude all the neocon craziness for now, but just you get the idea. This guy, at that one moment where his whole career was, supposed to be about, took off and ran and left his people. You know? He left his damn people. That is the worst damn thing you could ever do. I re-enlisted in Iraq because I wasn't going to leave my guys. Because I was in a position where I was the leader and I had to be there and I needed to be there for them. You know, those guys were there for me. I got to walk amongst giants in Iraq. I really, truly did. These men were unbelievable. You know, we were at Iwo Jima, they said what uncommon valor was a common virtue. And these guys brought that to life every fucking day we were there. I've seen things that you would never believe. I've seen acts of bravery that would make any stupid movie script look like absolute garbage that it is. You know, you can't describe it accurately or well enough.
Tell them what he said that got you so upset. Obviously, I'm not going to comment on this. I never served.
Doesn't matter. You know what a bullshit artist
well,
when you see one.
Of
so
course.
It's stolen valor. This guy claims to have served in combat. He never did. He claims to have served as a command sergeant major. He never was. He claims all kinds of different things, and there's video documentary evidence of this throughout the internet right now. It's all over X. It's all over Facebook. It's all over. It's well documented that this guy did not do any of these things that he's trying to lay claim to. You know, listen, if you served, okay, if you joined the military and you served, you said, hey, guess what? For the next X amount of years, you own my ass. I am willing to give you a check up to and including my life if it's needed. That's what you're giving the government when you sign up, right? You're saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you up to my life if it's needed for this X amount of time. You know? And that's basically what you're doing. So I'll give anybody who served props. I don't give a shit if you served in combat or not. If you served, and you have my respect. You do. You have my respect. 'Cause it takes big balls to stand on that line and do that shit, you know? Doesn't matter if you saw combat or not. It's irrelevant. Seeing combat or not is more a function of...
It's luck of the draw.
Yeah, I mean, where you landed, what unit you landed in, what job you landed in.
And what period of time you
exactly.
signed
I mean,
up.
you could do a whole career and never once see, a shot fired in anger, or you could do 5 years and do 6 deployments in combat. Right. It's just timing. So I give respect to anybody that served, okay? except for douchebags like this, okay, who take that service and use it as a lever to find themselves some other position somewhere and make themselves appear to be something they're not. Paper tigers, that's what these guys are. You know, they look good on paper, the strong wind comes along and poof, they're gone. You know what I mean? Not even a strong wind, a fucking breeze. You know, this guy's a complete and utter piece of shit. So he's laying claim to having served in combat arms in Operation Enduring Freedom. Screw you, bro. You weren't there.
He called himself a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom, which, of course, would lead me to believe that
he served in
fought
combat
in Afghanistan.
Well, that's what everybody thinks, right? Because that's how they make it sound. And what he's doing is skirting the edge, right? He's saying, well, Enduring Freedom was this operation around the world, and I served during that time. He could play the word salad game and try and make it cleaned up. But what guys like this do is they skirt the edge, right? They skirt the edge of just barely, not quite going to stolen valor. But fuck you, it's stolen valor, You're disgracing the memory of all the men and women that went there and shed their blood, sweat, and tears in that shithole of a country just to fucking come home and have some asshat like this, try and claim some bullshit he never did. Fuck
so,
you,
I mean,
man.
I just wanted to let you go because I can't really...
I can't
It's
stand
not
that
my
guy.
place to comment as much as it is yours. I mean, obviously, people who run for office always embellish their resume. This is
it's
not
very,
one
very
place
common.
where you should
Yeah.
be embellishing.
No, just listen, just tell the damn truth, right? Trump is so popular because he just is who he is, right? That's the populism thing about it.
One way to put it. Yeah.
He just is who he is. He does not give a shit. He doesn't care. Listen, he's got more money than they're ever going to take away from him. They're trying to take it all, but they're not going to get it.
No, he's got fuck you money.
Yeah, he's got fuck you money, and he doesn't give a shit. But at the end of the day, he is a patriot. He does care for his country. Whether you agree with his policy ideas or not, whether you agree with what he thinks or not, the man does actually do what he says he's going to do. For a number of reasons. He has somewhat of a narcissistic trait in there where it forces him to be successful because he has to have that validation. But to my mind, that's a good kind of trait in a leader at that level. You want a leader like that at that level because they're going to bring it to conclusion. They're going to bring it to success because that's just, it's built into them. They have to. They can't allow themselves not to.
So, Mike, I voted for Trump twice.
I know you're voting.
I do disagree with you on a couple of things you said, though, but we'll get to that later. I mean,
all right.
I'd rather stick with Walz than argue with you about some of those things about Trump right now. But how about just politically? How
Walz
do you think
is a communist.
No, I mean, how do you think this affects the race? What doesn't?
I think it sinks her numbers even lower, honestly.
Well, right now, her numbers are rising, Mike. They're not
I
sinking.
mean, that depends on the poll you look at, though.
No,
See,
all the polls, her numbers are rising.
Not all, no. Because I've seen 2 polls today where she was, starting to dip. Polls, here's the problem I have with polls, right? Polls can be manipulated. Depending upon who I speak to and what questions I ask and how I ask those questions, I'll get the results I want. So I take polls with a grain of salt, I don't think she's the worst candidate in the world. I think Joe Biden was the worst candidate in the world.
Yeah, I actually think she's running a pretty good campaign, to be honest with you.
Well, she's kind of trying to stay out of the line of fire right now and give some time and distance between her and Biden. That way she can kind of step up her game, I guess, coming into October and stuff, and kind of try and sail in. Not a stupid play. It's smart strategy-wise. Strategy-wise it's smart. She's avoiding the media. She's avoiding a lot of these confrontational kind of things that would hurt her right now. Because right now she has to build momentum. That's the biggest thing.
Right. She has the momentum, and she's not doing anything to hurt that. And, I happen to think she's running a pretty smart campaign right now, or smart people are running her campaign, however you want to phrase it.
Right. No, I agree. I agree.
I don't personally think, and I've said this before, I just don't think vice presidential candidates matter in the end. I think, whatever this is with the military stuff will blow over at some point, just like the cat lady stuff is going to blow over for Vance.
Yeah.
In the end, people are either going to vote for Harris or for Trump, and in my opinion, I really think this election is more about voting for Trump or against Trump than anything else.
But like 2020, it was either a vote for or against Trump. It wasn't a vote for Biden so much as it was against Trump.
But I do think the dynamics of the race have changed quite a bit.
Well,
It's put Trump in a bad position because she's doing a good, or her campaign anyway, because who knows how much she has to say about it, but her campaign is actually making Trump out to be now the status quo. She's the agent of change, right? He's the old. She's going to be
she's
the new.
She's trying to tap the Obama energy,
Exactly.
the hope and change.
Well, she's got Obama's people running her campaign, so
that's just it. Yeah, I mean, listen.
And they're doing the same thing, and it's it's working at the moment. I mean, it's only August, so things could change. And like we said in the previous video, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like that, Trump's the old man in the race.
Exactly.
A couple of weeks ago, it was Biden was the old man.
Listen, they're gonna use strategy. They're gonna try and get their base out there and get them fired up and excited about it.
Sure.
I think that
And that's why I think she made a good move by picking him.
Well, I mean, she had a couple of reasons, right? I mean, look, she couldn't pick Shapiro because she'd complete at that point, like she's already kind of at odds to Hamas.
Right, that's what
side of the Democrat
that's what we said
Party.
in the last video, right?
Yeah, and then, but I mean, so she has to kind of allay that a little bit.
So she's doubling down on her
she
beliefs, like Trump did.
Picks this guy because he's not confrontational within her own party.
Right.
It doesn't matter if the right hates him because she's not picking him for the right; she's picking him for the left.
Exactly.
Base. So it doesn't matter if we don't like him.
Right,
we do
just
like
like
him,
it doesn't
whatever.
matter if the left hates Vance.
Right, because he fires up the MAGA base,
Exactly.
and the MAGA, that's what MAGA wants.
So I think they both made a move that I thought presidential candidates should have always made, rather than trying to balance tickets. Just double down on
Excuse
you.
me, I'm sorry, guys.
And let the American people choose, because you're not fooling anybody. You know, if she picks somebody who's more pro-it, and again, I really don't know if she's anti-Israel. She really hasn't come out and said too much.
I don't think she's
so
necessarily. I think she just kind of goes where the wind blows.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? She seems like that more to me.
But she didn't pick somebody who's going to be on a different side of a major issue than her, which a lot of times people are asking to
I
do.
mean, he's well, look, he's in love with China, right? That's already known. Everything about the CCP is great. Just ask him; he'll tell you. You know, apparently he likes lying about his service, which that's a big strike for me. I don't care what side of the political coin you are. That should offend you. It should offend every one of you. You know, because he just took a big steam and piss on everyone who lost anyone in those wars. You know, that's all he's doing. He's dishonoring and disgracing their service by disgracing his own. You know, when you join the military, you get your uniform, right? And it's a very proud moment when you graduate boot camp or OCS and you wear that uniform, that dress uniform for the first time, like really wear it for the first time. It's a damn proud moment. You know, you worked hard for that
imagine
shit.
It
you
does.
earned it.
But
and
Mike,
this guy just pissed all over it.
But you don't really think it's going to change the outcome of the election?
Not at all.
No, not at all.
I think
it's going to be a forgotten thing in 2 weeks.
Well, I think, look, because they'll find something else to attack him. So here's the thing, right? In our modern political, cultural landscape, right? We have left and right, all right? Okay, so we have these two sides, and they throw barbs all day, every day, right? So you used to call it mudslinging back in politics, right? But they just throw barbs back and forth all day long. Do I think it's going to affect anybody? No, because I don't think people are voting for that guy particularly. They're voting for the policy, not the person.
Yeah, and they don't really talk a whole lot about policy, but yes, you know, in the end. But, you know, I one of the things that I had said probably about 6-8 months ago, I said to your sister-in-law, I said when it was Biden and Trump, I said whichever one of them runs like it's 2020 is going to lose. If Trump tries to run on the stolen election thing, he's going to lose. And if Biden tries to run on January 6th, he's going to lose.
Yeah.
Because nobody gives a shit about that stuff anymore, except the hardcores on either side. And the hardcores on either side are going to vote for who they're going to vote for. And that's not going to change.
They're already sold. You're not trying to grab them. You're trying to grab that middle.
Exactly. And I think Harris is... I haven't heard her yet. She may have, but I haven't even heard her bring up January 6th.
She did recently.
She did?
Within the last week. At some rally somewhere she mentioned it.
But she's not harping on it like Biden was.
She's not dragging it out everywhere she goes. Right. No, but I mean,
so
I think what she's doing is using it where she feels it's appropriate.
All right,
like,
bring it up once in a while. But Biden,
places where she thinks it'll sell well.
But to Biden, that was his whole campaign. His whole campaign was Trump's a threat to democracy,
January
6th, January 6th, January 6th. You know, and that was a loser for him.
Yeah.
I think she's smarter than that, and she really is, I think, running a very, very smart, disciplined campaign at the moment. Could fall apart tomorrow, but at the moment, whereas, to me, Trump is doing nothing but shooting himself in the foot, day after day. The man was...
So.
Oh, come on. He was in Georgia doing a rally in Georgia.
Yeah.
The state he has to win.
And he went after Kemp.
Good. Okay? No, not good, Mike. Good for you, good for MAGA people, good for the people who wear the Trump hats.
No.
Not good. It's not going to get...
Good for integrity, good for honesty, because Kemp is a dirtbag.
No.
But
Mike, we're talking politics, we're talking getting elected. Trump has about a 48% approval rating in Georgia. Kemp has a 65%. This is the first time I've ever seen Trump make a statement like that and not get applause at his own rally. It was just a smattering. He's talking to people who like Kemp.
I understand.
And this is what he's harping on. That Kemp is disloyal and you know, Kemp let him down. Donald, look at a calendar. It's 2024. It's 2024. It's not 2020. He's wasting his breath on that shit. Yes, I understand it gets you riled up. It gets people, but it only gets people going to vote for him riled up. He's not going to get anybody who is kind of like, maybe I'll vote for Trump. And then they're going to say, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump because he's going after Kemp. It just doesn't work that way. It's a waste of time, and it's just stupid campaigning.
Well, I think it's a waste of time.
And by the way, one more thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, our side's supposed to be against the victim mentality thing.
Sure.
I'm getting sick and fucking tired of hearing Donald Trump talk about what a victim he is. Just
what
stop.
What do you mean?
2020.
He was.
So what? So what? That's not going to get you elected in 2024.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's not.
You're absolutely right.
And it's just enough of the fucking whining. Again, we're supposed to be against victim mentality. Talking about how, you know, Kemp let him down and he's disloyal and Pence is disloyal. And rant to Melania about that when you're home eating dinner. You're out there campaigning in Georgia, attacking an extremely popular governor who you need. You need. They have to help you get. He has to get elected. He has to win Georgia, Mike. You're not going to win Georgia by attacking an extremely popular governor. I'm sorry.
I don't know. We'll see. I think people, especially now, after the last 8 years, right? Things changed a lot. You had Obama, the hope and change years, where you got stuck with all kinds of bad policy.
But the hope and change thing worked, right?
Well, he got him elected.
Right.
He won. Yeah. No, I'm not saying he's not smart. Listen, that man is very, very bright.
Yeah,
right? And he's
absolutely.
very, very politically astute. He proved that. That guy fast forwarded right through all the races, right to president. And that's not, not even remotely easy. And the guy's obviously sharp as hell.
Sure.
I don't want to give him. I don't want to take away his credit. Give him his credit, absolutely. But you had Trump, then you had Biden. These completely contrasted, very, very contrasting, presidencies, and you saw the results of both.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what's going to drive this election. People remember what
That's my
Trump
point, Mike.
Yeah.
That's what he should be talking about.
And I agree.
You
I'm
wanna
not
talk
disagreeing
about,
with you.
If he wants to talk about 4 years ago, talk about how good the economy was 4 years ago. Talk about how the world was at peace 4 years ago. Don't talk about how the fucking governor let you down. I'm sorry. It is not going to help.
I'm not disagreeing with you. What I am saying, though, is that's him, though. And it's one of those things where you say good with bad, That's one of the things I think is appealing about him. Not in this sense. When we're talking about political strategy, definitely not. I'm sure his strategists are like, shut up. But he is who he is, and he that's what I mean when I say
is who he is. Want to be president again? Because if he wants to be president again, he's got to try.
And that's probably exactly what his strategist told him. Okay. Stop it.
Right.
But
stop it. It's enough already. It's just fucking enough, Mike.
Kemp to me and the rest of them, like these are, it's like it's like a lot of them. He's a politician.
So what?
They're politicians, and for Trump at this point, he should be aware of just how how duplicitous, I should say, these people are. Right, all of them across the board, because they all want something. That's why they're there. They want something, But at the same time, he wants something, right? He wants that presidency back again. He wants to be able to go in and do what he wants to do.
See, I think I don't know. I think he wants revenge. I think he wants to just attack people on his side. It's absurd. It just makes no sense.
For him,
listen, let me put it this way. Dan Bongino, your boy.
I like Dan Bongino.
Your boy.
Yeah, I like the guy.
Who, by the way, your wife and my wife would both leave us for in a minute, right?
I'd leave her for him. Seriously.
Dan Bongino said a few days ago or a week ago, whatever, he said presidential campaigns are about sound bites.
100%.
And he's 100% right. About sound bites.
Yeah.
So Trump, for whatever reason, is not on Twitter. So he's decided to allow the media to create the soundbite. So if he was back on Twitter instead of Truth Social, which is just a group text with him and his supporters, he should be on Twitter. He should be getting his message out, because right now, what are the sound bites? Kamala Harris turned black. Black jobs. Kemp is a disloyal this and that. I watched that interview with the National Association of Black Journalists.
Yeah.
90% of it was smart policy answers by him. He gave good answers. Harris Faulkner bailed him out a couple of times when he was losing his temper. But it was actually a very good interview. But what came out of that interview?
That one soundbite.
That's it.
That one
those two sound bites, right? That's it.
Two, yeah.
And then the other soundbite of him arguing with the first woman that was interviewing him and calling her rude, and she was rude. But that's what's out there. So nobody that didn't watch the entire interview, which I would assume 99% of Americans didn't watch the entire interview, right? What are they getting out of it? Are they hearing Trump's policy? No. Are they hearing the smart things he was saying?
No, they're hearing him argue with the media.
They're hearing the retarded things that he's saying that's going to get him in trouble. Same thing with his rally in Georgia, right? I'm sure there were other things that he said, but what's going to stick in my mind? The one thing that got me furious when I'm watching it, the one thing that made me want to throw something at the TV and tell him to shut the fuck up and try to get elected. You're in a state where you literally need every single vote, and you're attacking a governor that's twice as popular as you. For what? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It's because that's who he is. Like, to him, loyalty is everything. So
Oh.
You know, and he's not that polished politician that's learned over different races in the years to kind of craft that kind of message and be able to toe that line, so to speak. You
Mike,
know?
he's not a neophyte anymore. He's been in politics since 2015. He's actually been in politics a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
But he's been, a candidate since 2015.
Right.
I'm sorry, I can't take it anymore. And I did predict this a few months ago. Ask your sister-in-law. I said, whichever one of these idiots runs on 2020 is going to lose. And right now, Kamala Harris is making herself out to be the fresh face. She's disassociating herself with Biden.
That's a smart play.
It is a smart play. Trump's not doing anything to make that connection back. He's just running a campaign of grievance. I was screwed in 2020. We can't let that happen again. I'm. It's just enough. It's I. You're not going to win elections like that.
Yeah, I think he wins in the end. I do. I do think he wins in the end.
I thought that a couple of weeks ago.
I still do. I have no doubt. Just because, even if you take all that into account, if we add all that in and we say, okay, this is going to hurt him or whatever, I still don't see that rising to the level of pain that people are feeling at the grocery store every day, that they're feeling at the pump every day.
But he's got to remind people of that every day.
I agree.
That's what he's got to do.
What I'm saying is, though, it becomes almost like we're saying, like 2020 was a vote against or for Trump. I think that 2024 might just become a vote for or against Bidenomics, basically.
Well, it was until 3 weeks ago, and like I said, she's doing a pretty good job of disassociating herself from
to a certain
Biden.
degree. She's trying to, but she's not. Like the problem hurting her is, so Trump definitely should get back on X, and he should absolutely utilize that platform because it would absolutely carry his numbers way further than where he is.
It's basically, people think that's one of the main reasons he won in 2016, right? Was
his social media account, yeah. So I think he definitely should get back on those other platforms. I understand Truth is like his baby and that's his place and that he's comfortable there, but you gotta get out of your comfort zone and go out and meet people you don't, and get out and get in the marketplace.
He's got an ally in Elon Musk, who owns Twitter. I mean, Elon Musk endorsed him. Why wouldn't he feel comfortable on Twitter? It doesn't make sense.
I agree, but I mean, he's still got that whole, I don't know, but I still think he pulls it out. I still think he wins, but I do agree with you that he should be like. I would like to see 2020 investigated properly. I would like to see actual investigation done on an election and what really went wrong and what really went on. So if there is criminal malfeasance, we can kind of address that and get those guilty parties and deal with them. Because it should never be steered that hard and that heavily by somebody, again, ever. But that being said, that's not a now thing. That's after we get in, we can come back and deal with this later.
Fine, after they get in. Look, Nixon,
I agree. You got to win.
Nixon knew full well that the 1960 election was stolen from him.
Sure.
He acted a whole lot more gracefully than Trump, and he won in 1968.
Yeah.
Gave himself a chance to come back. Trump is just. I'm sorry, Mike. Like I said, I voted for the guy twice. I'm not an anti-Trumper. I have an autographed picture of him in my house. You know that, right by the door.
Yeah.
It's not an anti. I get so mad because I'm watching him blow this. That's what gets me mad. I don't get mad because I hate him. I get mad because I don't really want to see Kamala Harris as president.
Neither do I.
And he seems to be doing everything in his power to make sure that happens.
I don't think so. I think he's just having his moments, but I do think he pulls it out in the end. Like I said, I do think he... Although, listen,
we'll see.
The guy's put his foot in his mouth plenty of times with different things. He said things I didn't agree with. And I don't agree with every single policy he advocates for. Don't get me wrong. Most of it, probably 90% of it, maybe 95% of it, most of it, but some of it just to me doesn't make sense. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes, right?
Look,
we'll
right now she's got the momentum, right? But that's
she does have
normal,
momentum.
Right? She just got in the race. She just picked a vice presidential candidate, so she's got the momentum. She's got the honeymoon period, they call it, right?
Well, listen,
so we'll see. Things could change in a month, but he's got to change. He's got to stop, Mike. He's got to fucking stop.
Listen, the wind in Kamala's sails right now is the collective breath the Democrats let out when Biden finally got forced out.
Of course.
So we'll see how long that carries her and how far it carries her. But
but 3 weeks.
Walz is definitely weighing that ship down.
But 3 weeks ago, but I don't know if that's going to matter in the end. Right now, yes, but in the end, I think.
Yeah, in the end, she might pick up enough momentum to be able to go forward.
So I don't think either one of their vice presidential candidates is going to make a difference in the election.
I don't think they're consequential the election. Not overall.
I don't think so.
Not overall.
I don't think they ever do. We went through this already. I don't want to rehash the same thing over and over again. But people said that Pence, helped Trump get the event. No, I don't think so. It was his Supreme Court list that got the event.
That's 100%. Yeah.
So I don't think vice presidential candidates really matter. Presidential candidates matter. Right now, she's got the wind of the sails. It's not a big deal. Polls go up and down, but you just see the trajectory that Trump's going in. I think he's frazzled. I mean, 3 weeks ago he was renting the moving trucks, to get his furniture back in the White House, and then the whole thing just fell apart when Biden pulled out. I don't understand how he didn't anticipate that, or his campaign didn't anticipate that.
Well, no, they did. That. They were talking about it before he even pulled out. Even like a few weeks before he even pulled out, there were statements by his campaign about that and about who the next candidate would be or whatever. He was making like kind of off the cuff remarks. It's Trump, so. But he was making off-the-cuff remarks about it. So I think they had some semblance of an idea, or at least they had some inkling of an idea that was probably going to be the case. Sure. I think they were ready for it. But I think he just needs to kind of... I agree with you, though. He needs to stay on script. Listen, you were economically better off under a Trump presidency. You had much more freedom under Trump presidency. You had world peace under Trump... or not world peace, but you had a lot more peace under President Trump, more stability in the world, and things were moving in the right directions. Things got derailed by COVID, whatever the genesis was. But, that's a whole different animal. But under his policies, you had a much better world, a much better country, and a much better life.
Right, he's got almost like an incumbency, in a sense, right? Because he can
Absolutely.
run on his
and
record.
And they've seen the contrast
president.
of what that could be now. And
exactly. And
so just play on that.
The thing that the Democrats have going for them now that Biden dropped out is that, she doesn't have to take responsibility for this. She's a vice president, not the president, so she could kind of extricate herself from that. He's got to try to attach her to that. But more importantly, in my opinion, is to just stop reminding Americans of the election of 2020 and remind them of what life was like in 2019.
Yeah, I agree.
Over and over and over again.
I agree.
Just
Smart play.
Are you better off now than you were when I was president? And almost no one in their right mind could say yes. They may say, well, it was less annoying or, whatever. They don't like them. But the bottom line is your money went further.
Yeah.
There weren't, we weren't on the cusp of World War III. We didn't have millions upon millions of people coming across our border. Just all the tangible, real life things that he could point to and say, this is what it was like in 2019. Compare it to what it's like now. What do you want? But he's just wasting his goddamn time with these stupid grievances. Drives me nuts, Mike.
I get the grievance. I get why he's upset. Yeah. I get it. This is his Lindsey Graham for moments. No, but no, I get it. I get the grievance. I do get the grievance, but I think that's just kind of him, and I don't know that you can extricate all of that from him.
Well,
I think he's gotten better at it.
Does he just want to go down as him then, and that's it?
I think he's gotten better at it over the years, but I think you're still going to see. I think you're going to see moments here and there where he lets go like that. But we'll see what happens. But as far as Walz is concerned, I don't care what side of the party aisle you're on.
You don't like him?
Listen, I hate that. Guys like this, right? Guys like this guy, these cowards like this, right? This is what gets good men killed in combat. This is what gets good men and women killed in combat. This is what gets our troops dead. People like this, these disgusting, cowardly scumbags that will not do the job they signed on to do.
Well, like I said, I have to defer to you on that. Obviously, it's not my place. I just don't think it's going to make a difference in the end. I don't think anyone's going to not vote for Kamala Harris because this guy is guilty of stolen ballot.
No, they're not. Listen, Democrats vote policy, right? Whatever puppet they put up there to show that they want to vote for, whatever, they vote policy. Like, they use the identity politics, they use a lot of the other shit that they do. But at the end of the day, most Democrat, voters, the actual Democrat voters, they're going to vote policy. They're going to vote the policies that they feel like they want. So, free abortion for all, and let's let in every illegal craziness, and whatever the nonsense it is, their particular brand that they like, they're going to vote policy. I think that, and on the conservative side, I think it's becoming more policy on the conservative side than it is people now. I think it's shifting. Because for a long time, it was personality. It was like personality. We need a calm, culture, develop, politically astute, like the Romneys.
I think it's all about Trump. I don't even know that policy makes a difference in this. I think it's all about Trump.
Trump is a phenom. Trump's like a juggernaut,
exactly.
Right? And I think that's definitely the case with him. But when we remove him from the equation, we talk about just the base, the party voters. I think it's definitely, in the Republican side, they're becoming more aware of policy, and they're getting more involved, and they're becoming more attuned to that. So,
I think Harris
in the down ballot, you'll see more policy votes rather than you will see.
I think the policies that Harris is going to try to run on are things like paid family leave. The typical sort of left-wing liberal types of stuff. But it is appealing to a lot of people. She seems to have separated herself from the Medicare for All thing, and She seems to have
Yeah,
separated.
she hasn't
herself.
mentioned that. I haven't seen her mention it at all.
She's gotten away from that. So again, I think she's running a smart campaign. She's tacking a little bit more to the middle, but she is trying to get her left-wing bona fides out there by picking Walz, in my opinion. I think that's why she picked him, to double down on that. But in the end, like you said, Trump's a phenom, and I really think this election is about him.
No, it is.
I think
it is. It's his moment to shine or to fail.
Yeah.
Honestly, so you're right about that. Listen, it's his to win or lose. It really is.
I believe so.
It's his to win or lose at this point.
And I believe right now, the wind he's facing a strong headwind at the moment. That could change.
Yeah, I mean, that's expected when
Donald, shut the fuck up about 2020 already. Just shut up. Shut up.
That said, Kemp is a snake. He's a snake.
I don't care. He's the governor of fucking Georgia. They love him down there. I don't care.
Georgia, wake up. Elect somebody better. Okay, not Stacey Abrams. She's a psychopath. But, elect somebody who's not a snake.
Trump, shut the fuck up about 2020 already. Get yourself elected, you fucking moron. Oh, God. Mike, tell him to subscribe.
Subscribe, like, share the video. Just
tell
not
him
with
to
Trump.
comment.
Yeah, comment. Just don't share this with Trump, okay? We don't want to get beat up.
Share it, Donald. Call me.
Yeah.
Call me. I'll talk to you. I'll advise you.
Yeah,
Shut up. My God. Comment down there. I know you're mad at me.
Like, subscribe,
MAGA
comment,
world.
share the video out. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. We're open to criticism. We just want to hear what you think. We want to make this about you guys, all right?
We
We
gotta
want
go
you to
milk the
enjoy
cows.
this. We do got to go milk the cows, and then we're going to go find this guy Walz. And, no, I'm kidding. Nobody's going to find anybody, but guys like that do not deserve any respect. Do not give that man any respect. He does not deserve it.
It ain't going to change.
Regardless of party, regardless of party, this is the most probably honest thing I'll tell you right today. Regardless of party, that guy is a snake and a half. Okay, he is the worst kind of coward. And as Americans, I don't care what side you're on, the one thing we can all agree on is we hate cowards. Well, there you go. Hate that guy.
Well, the one thing I would say is, in the end, I don't think it's going to make a damn difference.
It's not going to make a difference at all. I think it's a vote either for or against Trump at this point. It's his to win or lose. But, again...
speaking of Trump, shut up about 2020 already. Comment down there.
School this guy on what happened in 2020. Send the evidence. Throw the evidence in the comments so you can
It's
see that there's
2020.
actual
Listen,
evidence.
Mike, I got this thing right here on my phone. It's called a calendar.
Oh,
This is the way you keep track of the passage of time.
really?
Yeah. And if you look at it, you'll notice the year is 2024.
Wow.
24. There's an election in 2024. The election of 2020 is over. Join us next time on the Dirt Road.
Subscribe, like, comment. We'll see you soon. Thank you, guys.